Hey, Real Green Ninja here. The video you're about to watch is a supplement to the existing tutorials and help videos already available on the Real Green website. I do take a more casual approach because I'm presenting this information as I would if you called in, although I may have a little fun with it. This video is based upon the information I, as a Real Green technician, would provide using my experience on the help desk. This video was created on my own time to assist with areas of the software that may be waiting for an official help video or tutorial. At the beginning of the training video, I will have the version of the Service Assistant the video was made with. I will also try to be as accurate as possible, but be aware, as Service Assistant updates are released, things may change. I'm using the name Real Green Ninja as not to stand out from the other amazing technicians that I work with. I hope the information in this video helps you, so grab a cup of coffee and I hope you learn something new. Hey, Real Green Ninja here. I was requested to make this video, so I'm making it. Today we're going to talk about how to create upsell messages for your invoices and or statements. So let's begin. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to Print and then Invoice Statement Message Gallery, because this is where you're going to actually add those messages to the system. Now these messages, again, can be printed on invoices. If we go to the invoice screen, you'll see we have a couple sales message options across the top here. If we go to the statement screen, and we go to the options button here, you'll see we have a couple options for sales messages as well, but you will only be able to choose them if you're using a legal size statement. Again, if you're using letter size, it won't even give you the ability to select them. And again, you can go through and select the sales messages, as well as you can even do an override message based upon what their oldest aging or oldest money is that they have in their aging categories. And again, for like 120 days, you might have one with a big red stop sign saying, hey, stop, protect your credit, that sort of thing. So again, these are messages that you can print on invoices and or statements depending on what you're going to do, because obviously you wouldn't put a stop, protect your credit on an invoice. All right. But again, today we're going to talk about how to set this up right now. In this invoice statement message gallery, there are two different types of sales message. The first one is a plain text message. The second one is a message object. If you want to get fancy, where you have different color text and different size fonts and so on and so forth, and pictures and stuff, then you will have to do it as a message object. We'll talk about that in a moment. But right now we're going to talk about plain text, because plain text is the easiest if you want to edit it. So let's go ahead and create a new one, and we're going to call it, plain text. And by the way, I can never type and talk at the same time, so I might get a little quiet now. Text message. Okay, so again, the plain text message is just that. It's plain text. You can type in, say, hope you are having a great year. Oh, actually, maybe summer. And again, obviously, I'm not going to go into too much detail, but again, you're going to create it however you want. Hope you have a great summer. Remember, it is grub season. Call us about our... And I'm going to type and talk at the same time. Grub control services. Okay, again, obviously you would write out, type it however you want, and so on and so forth. Now, when you're doing a sales message, what you will need to do is, if you're selling a particular service, you're going to tie the service that you're selling using this grid right here. Now, if it's something generic, like us on Facebook, hoping you're having a great summer, say, hey, congratulations to so-and-so with a proud new baby boy or whatever, then obviously you don't have to worry about selling a service. But again, as I was saying though, if it is selling a particular type of service, under the services to be sold, you're going to select what that service or services are. Because the way it works, if the customer already has one of these services that are on this grid, it's going to skip over this message and go to the next one in line. Simply because why try to sell something someone already has? And again, you just don't want to waste the space, so you want to try to sell them something they don't have. And again, I'll talk about that in a little bit after in this video. All right, so like I was saying, you're going to select the services to be sold. Now, you can get fancy if you want. You can go through and have a check mark box where the customer can check it off. You can go through and give it a title, and I'm just going to go ahead and type title in here so we can do a preview on invoice. We'll see what it is. You can also select what language this is, so as if the customer has a language preference on their customer screen, they can get that particular message. You can also give the checkbox text. Again, I'm going to go ahead and give checkbox text. All right. If you have your price chart set up and it's able to calculate a price because the customer has a size on there, for example, lawn size or whatever, you can even select a price chart. And I'm going to just use lawn care for right now, as well as offer a discount, because maybe you're giving 20% off, or maybe it's a summer clearance or something like that, and you're giving 50% off of this service or whatever. So again, you can even go through and assign a discount. Now, once you have everything in there, like with most things, you're going to hit save. And also you can specify what branch or branches have access to the sales message. Of course, most of the time, people just do it for all of them, and then select it for the appropriate invoice. You can also put in there as a prepay offer by clicking this little checkbox here, and then you can go through and select how you want to do it. But again, this is one of those little bit more advanced features in there. All right, so once you have all your stuff in here, it's saved. Now, once we close it, it's going to do a little refresh. If we go to Invoices, and then we go and select that plain text message, where did I put it? Oh, there it is. I was right on it. Yay. All right, and we're going to grab some invoices here. Invoices? No, maybe not. Let me just grab a whole bunch of them. There we go. And then we're hitting none. I'm going to just select someone here at random. We'll do a preview. You'll see right there, that's what I typed. But you notice that price is like right in the middle of the text. All right. So what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to move that price down a little bit. So I'm going to go to Print, Invoice Statement Message Gallery, go to my plain text message example, and then I'm going to go into Edit Mode, and I'm going to do the price offset. And let's do 6 lines, and let's see where it says. So the thing about the invoice messages is you will have to play around with them. Okay, to make sure everything looks right before you actually offer to customer. So again, you could actually put information in there saying for the low price of whatever. All right, so again, keep in mind with this, you're gonna have to play around a little bit, and you'll see there's a title here, and if we scroll down, you'll see there's that checkbox that we put in there. So again, if the customer decides they want to have that service that you're upselling, they can actually check it off on the remit portion of their invoice. All right. So let's close that out. Now, again, that's a plain text message. The other type of upsell message is called a message object one. And again, this is if you want to get fancy, if you want to have like pictures and different size text and color and stuff. Now, if you've ever imported your logo or did like an estimate form, you remember that there's a special step called a paste picture meta file, and that's pretty much how you do it here. So again, we're going to create a new one, and we're going to call it message object. Object. There we go. And once we put in message object, you're going to have to either create it or have someone else create it for you and put it into a Microsoft Word document, or you could even put it into like a JPEG or a bitmap or something, but you're going to have to edit. So we're going to go to the one I made example here. So again, I made this one right here, and like I said, this is just a statement or whatever I'm trying to sell, if I'm trying to sell something and stuff. But once you've created your message, what you're going to do, oops, didn't mean to delete that. I just meant to delete this extra line of text down there. There we go. You're going to do Control A for select all, so it grabs everything, and then Control C for copy. It's going to copy it to your computer's clipboard, so I can now come over here, tell it message object. I'm going to click somewhere, and again, we're in edit mode. I'm going to click somewhere in this blank area with my left mouse button. If you listen, click, 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 click. There you go. And you click somewhere in that box, and then you're going to do Edit, Paste Special, Picture Meta File, OK, and you'll see it's going to throw it in there. Now, if you paste your message in there and when you hit save it disappears, that means you might have a picture of something that's too large for this particular object. Now, again, you may have shrunk it down. You may have controlled the size in Word by going like this or whatever, but that doesn't actually resize the size of the image. That's just resizing the view of the image. So if it's too big, it might not fit in there. And again, it's just a matter of going to the original picture you put in there, maybe resizing it maybe 75, 50% smaller, and then plunking it in there. Now, one thing to be aware of, if it's a message object, then you have to update the original if you ever want to make changes. If you realize you made a mistake or want to change how something looks, you do have to, again, go to the original, and maybe it's not 555 Ninja, maybe it's 555 RG Ninja. So again, I'm going to go back, Control A, Control C, go back to my original, or go back to the Service Assistant, go into Edit Mode, click somewhere in there, box. Let me get the microphone real close here, here we go. There's where we're clicking. Click somewhere in that box to let the system know that's what you want. Go to Edit. Now, you can clear it out, but again, you just do Paste Special, Picture Meta File, and you'll see now it has 555 RG Ninja. So now that we have that message in there, what we're going to do is we're going to hit Save. And again, if you're selling services, if you want to do pricing and stuff. Now, if you want to do it as a prepay offer, you can hit Prepay and then select, again, the options and stuff. If you want to do it for current year, next year, discounts, current. Again, play around with it. I always tell people play around with it because that's one thing I love about our software. As long as you're not like posting production or payments or something, most of the stuff you can play around with, and it doesn't hurt too much if you're just doing previews. All right, but as I was just saying, is we put that in there and we close it out. Now, when we go to our invoices, we can go to this. We're going to select that message object one I just created, and we do preview. Okay, scroll down, and you'll see there's my message. But you know what? I don't like the fact this is the top. I want to have it a little bit more centered. So what I'd have to do is I'd have to go to my original, and now I'm going to add some space on the top, Control A, Control C, go back here, go to Tools, Print, Invoice Statement Message Gallery, pick my message object, go into Edit mode, click somewhere in there, and then Edit, Paste Special, Picture Meta File, Save, Close, Close, Invoices, Get Invoices, None, select one, and then Preview. All right. Now when I go and look at my message, it adds those lines, and you'll see, it might help if I actually pick my message. Oh, I feel silly. Show list, long care checklist. Again, all this stuff is on the fly. I'm doing it on my own, so I'm not going to do a ton of retakes. And there we go. And you'll see now it's a little bit lower. It's a little bit more centered. So, like I said, the thing about the message gallery is you may have to play around with it. Unfortunately, that's the nature of the beast. But like I said, once you have it in the system, then you have it going forward. Now, just a really quick thing about messages. Again, if you have customers that have services you're trying to upsell, you may want to put multiple messages in there. Maybe the first message we're going to be trying to sell the perimeter pest. Second message we're going to try to sell aeration. Third message I'm going to try to sell grub control. But whatever the last message in that line is, if it's the second or third one or whatever the last message is, you probably want to keep it something generic. And again, that one I made without the ninja, that's kind of generic. But like you might have like us on Facebook, hope you're having a great summer again, and so on and so forth. And like I said, the reason why is because when you're trying to sell something, if the customer already has a service, again, it's going to skip from the first message to the next message. If they have both perimeter pest and aeration, it's going to grub control. If they have all three of these, it's going to bounce the last message here. If you are trying to sell four different services, and all four messages are tied to services, and they have all four of them, that field's going to be blank. So you might as well put something in there. So again, that's why I always say try to keep that last one generic. Works the same way on your invoice or on your statements. The only difference is on statements, if you do the override, options, regular, legal, it does not matter what these messages are. It's going to get whatever message you have in here, all right, on this list. Now, one more thing I want to mention is when I first started working at Real Green, I heard about this, and I thought it was a really cool way of using those invoice messages, not necessarily to sell a service, but to get more revenue. Let me explain. There was a company out there, and what the owner would do is he'd go out to one of those big box retail stores, like a Home Depot or a Lowe's or something like that, when they're having their barbecue grills on clearance at the end of the year. So usually around October, November, that time of year. But he'd go out there and buy a brand new grill at an extreme discount. You know, maybe he might buy a $500-$600 grill for about $100, $125. And then he would take that grill, put it somewhere safe. Maybe he might put it in the shop, cover it up. But again, put it somewhere safe. Then, on the first round of his fertilizer program, he would put an invoice message saying, hey, if you prepay for your remaining services, you will be entered in a drawing for this brand new, Coleman grill or whatever, retail value $500-$600. All right. All of a sudden, people just started money because people really wanted a chance to win that grill. And then, once he had the drawing and everything like that, on maybe the second or third round, he would then have his message saying, hey, say congratulations to so-and-so of such and such city, the winner of this brand new grill. Better luck next year. Now, obviously, he might not have said better luck next year. He might have said a little bit nicer. But again, the point is, he did not give a discount for those services. All he did was offering a chance to win the grill, and people wanted that chance, and they would send him money. And everything was legitimate. He had the drawing and everything, all right? So again, I thought that was a really cool way of using those invoice messages beyond trying to sell something or just saying, hey, how you doing type of thing. So again, I hope this helps, and you guys have yourself a wonderful day.